Okay, so this is going to be the first video of two about circles, where we are going to look at how to work out the circumference of a circle. Before we start, let's just look at a couple of definitions that are going to be important to us. So to begin with, what is the circumference of a circle? Well, in terms of the circles, the circumference, which I'm going to highlight with this lovely orange colour, is just another word for the perimeter of the circle. Okay, so the circumference is the distance around the outside. Okay, and in order to work with the various formulas we got for circles, there are two other things that we need to use. First of which I'm going to highlight for you in green, is what we call the diameter of the circle. The diameter is the distance from one side of the circle to the other, going through the middle of it. And the other measurement that we use, which I'm going to highlight in this blue colour, is what we call the radius of the circle. And the radius is the distance from the centre of the circle to anywhere on the circumference, anywhere on the outside of it. So a relationship between those, the diameter, which we're going to call d, is the same as 2 times the radius. Okay, if we want to find the diameter of the radius, we're going to double it. Similarly, if we want to know the radius, we're going to take the diameter and we're going to divide it by 2. Okay, because one formula for circumference uses diameter, the other formula for area, which we'll see in a later video, uses radius, so you need to be comfortable converting between the two of them. What else is really important to us is this magic number pi. Okay, which we talked about in class. Pi is simply the ratio of the diameter and the circumference of a circle, and it is one of these infinitely long numbers. We talked about the trillions of digits that we already know, but easy to remember, just a few of them. So it begins 3.14, continues on 1, 5, 9, 2, 6, and so on. It will keep on going almost, well, not almost, it will keep on going infinitely. What is really important that we remember are just these 3 digits, 3.14. If you can remember 3.14, then you can do any non-calculator work with pi to a suitable degree of accuracy. Okay, so without any further ado, how then do we get the circumference of a circle? How do I find that out? Well, I said that pi and the diameter were related, and that is the ratio of the diameter to the circumference. So in order to work out the circumference, we use a formula. C is equal to pi multiplied by d multiplied by the diameter. We also sometimes use a formula of pi. C equals 2 pi r, rather just combine and turn the radius into the diameter in one thing, but I think it's easier just to remember one formula. Okay, let's look at just a wee example of how we would go about doing that. Okay, so in this example I've got this circle here, and to keep things nice and straightforward, I'm going to say that the diameter of that circle is 10 centimetres, and I'm being asked to find the circumference. So we begin, as we always do, by writing out the formula. So C equals pi d. Now, a lot of focus on this pi thing here. If you're using a calculator, your calculator has a pi button. You can use that, get a more accurate answer, or you can use 3.14. As long as you're clear with whoever's marking your work what you're doing, as long as you write pi or write 3.14 in the next line. We're focusing on non-calculator work, so I am going to begin with C equals 3.14 multiplied by the diameter of 10. Multiplying by 10, obviously we just look at moving all of our digits one place over to the left, so the 1 is going to jump over that decimal point, the 4 is going to jump into the tenths place, and the 3 is going to become 3 tenths or 30. So our answer is 31.4 centimetres. And if you'd used a calculator with a pi button, your answer would have been 31.41, etc, etc, etc. So it's not making a significant difference here when we're talking about hundredths there of a centimetre or tenths of a millimetre. That's just not something we can realistically measure in. Okay, and going over the page, if we were to have this circle here where we don't know the diameter and instead we know the radius, then we have to make sure that we change the radius that we're given into a diameter, and that's got to be the first thing you do when using this formula, or you can't go on. So imagine if I was to say the radius here was 3 centimetres. Okay, I need to change out the diameter. I don't need to write any working for that. I can go straight away to writing down what the diameter is, but if I want to make it look a bit more accurate and make sure I don't make any mistakes, well, if my radius is 3, then my diameter is double that, it's 6 centimetres. I can then go straight ahead to C equals pi d. So C equals 3.14 times 6. You could, if you like, try and do that in your head, but there's no harm whatsoever in writing out a multiplication, making sure we don't make any mistakes. So 6 fours would give us 24, so 4 carry our 2, 6 ones are 6, and 2 to give 8, and 6 threes are 18, so to give us an answer of 18.84 centimetres for the circumference. So you are now able to find the circumference of a circle, whether you know the radius or whether you know the diameter. And in just a little bit I will upload a second video tonight going over the area of a circle.